Hello and welcome to our Retire Early lifestyle. Today we're going to talk about money and having financial freedom. I think people are confused about what real financial freedom is all about, which is just another way to say financial independence. Take a look at the 3 headline stories that were recently published on a very popular and well-known financial news outlet. I'm not going to waste my time reading the articles. All we need to do is read the headlines to know that it will not affect our true independent retire early lifestyle. Why is that? Because the true meaning of independent has to be defined. People throw around the word independent without considering the actual true meaning. Are we truly independent when we rely on only one source of funds, that source being an employer, even though perhaps we are well paid? Are we truly independent when we rely on only one source of retirement funds, whatever that may be, whether the stock market, Social Security, you name it? A long-standing job is not historical. Prior to industrialization, people got many jobs, as in short-term work for many different customers. Perhaps they would hang out their shingle and provide a product or service to as many customers as possible, never relying on any one customer. When you first land in Ecuador, for example, you will note that the majority of people are exactly that. Small artisans and shopkeepers, peddlers, etc. The large corporate presence is lacking. So then if you look at your employer as your customer, why would you rely on only one? For the promise of long-term workload, people become enslaved. Now don't get us wrong, there is absolutely nothing wrong with working for others and helping them get rich. I mean, after all, you like your job and you're getting paid for it, right? Everyone is at a different spot in life, but the thing is, do you really like your job? Do you think you are paid well for your time and expertise? Do you think you work too hard or too little for the amount of take-home pay? Are you happy with your life? These are some of the questions we need to ask ourselves because it seems like many Americans are stressed out from working too hard and upset that they're barely getting by living paycheck to paycheck. That's who I'm talking for, not those people who are happy doing what they're doing. The truth is, if you ask people if they enjoy what they do for a living, most of them adamantly say no. That's because a lot of folks are spending their days doing something they really don't want to do. They are really not independent, but rather financially dependent on an employer. Do you see the difference? Maybe you aren't even using your skill at your workplace. Perhaps your skill, the thing you actually enjoy spending time doing, is put on the wayside because you're so busy working for someone else in their business so you can make a living for yourself and family. This is where most people are at in life. They're so busy working for someone else, they don't have time to use their expertise working for their own household or product or service business. Have the time and freedom to do all of those things that make your household truly independent from the risk of relying on only one source. Isn't that what we're really talking about? We don't know your situation, but what we've always talked about on this channel is to hone in on your skill or skills, plural, and create your own business doing what you actually enjoy doing. Grow your own micro business or service. On this channel, we call it micro enterprise. When you have your own micro enterprise or business, you can actually make money doing what you enjoy doing and honing in on your skill at the same time. With your own micro biz, you set the hours. You work how many hours you feel you need for your living expenses. This leaves you with the coveted time freedom that most people don't have, that you really need to be able to change your mindset and your life to make a true difference in your independence. It's not just financial. We're talking more time to improve your life in all spheres, including those spheres you have no time for at the moment, which start decaying from neglect. This is why these headlines don't matter. That Wall Street says no jobs went to American citizens. So what? You still have a skill or trade, and that means you can sell your service or trade to anyone at any time, and you won't be stuck at a job working for someone else. Instead, you will be growing your own business, making as much money as you want, learning to be flexible, which is one of the most important skills in life that is underrated and most people don't think about. Take it from someone that has been flexible for 4 decades and has enjoyed the retire early lifestyle all their lives. This has allowed us to reach retirement age, and yet, having already accomplished many of the things that newly minted retirees are just getting started with. The goal is not to only end up with a pile of cash, but to have lived a life worth living and still have all your financial needs met and those of your family. Does that sound good to you? Instead of centralizing your work, you can now, in a way, decentralize your skill and actually make a decent living doing it. Let's say that you're an expert carpenter. You have 2 options: work for someone else's construction company or market yourself and freelance your own construction business. What I'm sharing here are only for example purposes, okay? Maybe you like raising chickens and selling eggs and hens, or growing organic oranges from your orchard, or maybe you enjoy bee farming. Wherever your expertise is, the end product will be a valuable service to others, especially if it is something they will need and want. By the way, growing food and raising animals, preparing and prepping, butchering and storing food are all skills, and they are very important skills, and these types of skills will be very much needed in good or bad scenarios. Our purchasing power is slowly eroding in the background. Communism may not win, but we may go through some hard times until we get there. It's not a prediction, it's just a safety statement. Your job may dry up, but everyone needs to eat, and if you ask most people, they want fresh, clean food. These are the skills that are asset-backed because the future of humanity depends on being able to get clean food for well-being and health. You know where I'm going with this, right? Handyman services of all kinds will also be in great need, such as repairing old vehicles, tractors, and other farm equipment. Servicing your skills to others in the form of in-home services, such as repairing appliances, painting, roof repair, solar panel installation, whole house alarm installation. These are just examples for this conversation. You can do whatever you like and what your skill is, but you get the idea. Most people have skills, many people don't know it, but you can always learn skills. Skills are an important part of life, especially if you get laid off from your job or the company goes out of business. This is happening all over in the world. People are left jobless. Many of these jobless people become victims of homelessness. It's serious, folks. So all of you jobless people out there, or those who are looking for a change, or you want to start preparing for an uncertain future, your community needs you. If everyone realized their potential in life and they were ambitious enough to use that potential, there would be no reason anyone would be in lack. Do you see what we're saying here? So remember, the headlines don't matter unless you really like your job and you really don't want to go out on your own. Some folks are happy as a lark working for someone else's company, but if you find yourself always complaining about not being able to put aside money, and you don't like getting up in the morning to go to your job because you're barely making a living at your job, you might want to start thinking about putting your skill to work for you and work for yourself instead of someone else. Financial independence, retire early. On the other side of the coin, we see this headline: Shortage of skilled trade workers crippling some industries. Don't have a skill? Why is there a shortage of skilled trade workers when so many parents have sent their children off to college and, by the way, are probably still paying off college debt? And get this, did you know that public school systems have taken shop, class, and home economics out of the high schools in America? We won't get into the real reasons why this is happening in this video, but it's a serious matter. Many young people do not have the skills they need to get by in this new world we are arriving into. But the good news is, if you homeschooled your children, we can be part of the new generation that is truly independent. That's because homeschoolers are more hands-on learners, and part of any home education system should be to teach your children real-life living and surviving and thriving skills. Building, producing, creating, fixing, repairing, restoring, industrialism in all areas of home management, seeing the problem and finding the proper solution, etc., etc. Do you see why we explain to people why we should not rely on institutions that have been propped up on a pedestal all of our waking lives? And yet here they are reporting that college grads aren't prepared for the real world. Is that a surprise to you? Not to us. According to studies, 60% of college graduates don't really know how to mentally and emotionally deal with stressful situations, which is needed in the world today. They may be emotionally immature and mentally unable to deal with the stresses of everyday life at a job. To put it bluntly, they're not taught to make lemonade when they were handed lemons. Instead, they just stare at the lemons, wondering what to do with them, and they rotted. This is why there is a shortage of skilled trade workers in the workforce. They are not prepared for what is coming, and deep down, they probably know it. They're dependent financially on an employer, and they're just not happy campers. That's terrible for them. College is not always the answer to making one's way in life, and we think many college graduates realize they just wasted 4 years of their time learning something they will never use in life and spending thousands of dollars doing it. We're not saying that college graduates are not or cannot be successful at some level. What we are saying is that it's a reduced success compared to what it could be. For instances, we know that college grads frequently make superb incomes but still don't know that the borrower is a slave to the lender, just to name one thing. They also more than likely did not know they would have zero control over the types of people that they would be required to rely on. There are people in this world that you would not want to rely on regardless of how much they pay you. See? If we were to wake up tomorrow in a new reincarnated life and be an employee of a corporation with a superb salary, I pray to have the wisdom to know to eat chicken and lentils and put all that money to work so as to become free of that employer within 5 years or less. Having and being in control of all aspects of our lives is what makes us truly independent of all those things we may not even be aware that we're not independent of. All things considered, it kind of leaves a graduate with a dry throat and a doom and gloom kind of feeling. It's a sad situation we're seeing today, and it's a serious one. Our young people need some encouragement right about now. Some parents think homeschooling is too hard. No, it's not. Your child actually has a yearning to learn, and you just need to be aware of what they are interested in and let them pursue their ambitions and potential. To all the young people out there, the good news is it's never too late to learn anything you want in life. You can gain a skill and use it to help others, and that provides you with financial freedom and above all, a good emotional well-being. Everyone has gifts and potential to learn anything they want, but we should think about the future and think about what will people need. What can I create that will help my compatriots? What service can I offer to assist my community to a brighter and better world? The world is handing you lemons. Are you going to let them rot, or are you going to do something with them? It's not too late to make yourself truly independent, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Alright everyone, that's it for this video. Take care and blessings to all. Bye-bye.